Hello YouTube. I'm just here to do a video. I want to do a video about gardening and what kind of got me into gardening in the first place. And one of the things I was really thinking about lately was, with all the protests and all the things going on in the media, with the police killings and with the protests of the quarantine and all these things and all this rage against the system, I really wanted to kind of give my story in terms of how I started to deal with the system myself. When I was in college, I was like one of those like true revolutionaries. I was all about like, let's stick it to the man, let's defeat the system. I was like reading Malcolm X speeches and memorizing them, and Marcus Garvey and reading the Black Panthers and all those kinds of things. But then I got to a point where one day I realized that yes, the system is corrupt and the system is really trying to hurt you. But I realized more than anything that the system was really killing you more so through the food that they're giving you, through the pesticides, through the high fructose corn syrup, through the corporations that pass off with the preservatives and all these kinds of things. So I realized like I was being complicit in my own death. And so what I really started to do was, a few years ago, I bought this house, and my friend Sam Abraham actually sold it to me. Shout out to Abraham Legacy. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to embark on this journey of starting to produce my own food. And I'm still in the process of this journey. But one of the things I wanted to make sure I did was, if I'm really trying to stick it to the man, if I'm really trying to stick it to the system, I cannot buy my enemy's food. I have to start producing my own food. And this is one of the things I started to do. So it started off real simple. I didn't really have much going on, but I grew some sweet potatoes in the back. I started growing some peppers. Before you know it, I started growing some watermelons. And then I had a friend by the name of Danielle Hodge, who actually hooked me up with 100 rotten mangoes from South Florida. And I took these rotten mangoes and I dug a whole bunch of holes all throughout my yard, and I planted mango trees. So now I have mango trees all throughout my yard. And it's still a learning process, right? Because there's a lot of things that I mess up when I'm gardening that end up dying. But for the most part, I eat from my garden every day now. And it not only does it give me this sense of, you know, I guess, sticking it to the man and trying to make myself survive, but it also gives me this real sense of independence and self-sufficiency. Some of the same things that Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, and these same revolutionaries would always talk about in a lot of their speeches and a lot of their writings. And so that's just one of the things I wanted to share with you guys. I'm going to have more videos to come on my gardening, but just to give you guys some statistics in terms of health and the deaths due to health related to food. 300,000 Americans die every year from obesity. 80,000 Americans die every year from type 2 diabetes. 647,000 Americans die from heart disease. 472,000 Americans died in the year 2017 from high blood pressure. And amongst African Americans, heart disease is the #1 killer. Okay, so just to kind of give you guys some perspective here, they're killing us through our food. So if you can do anything to try to prevent the system from brutalizing you and killing you, I would say try to start managing and growing your own food. Remember, the revolution will not be pesticides.